jewel, every shango keep a old shoon. Old shoon from the jump, you had me so tuned. Type of joint that have been cheating on your old yacht. Fuck a old body, better pull up in the robot. A gold jewel, every shango keep a old shoon. Old shoon from the jump, you had me
What's
so
up,
tuned.
y'all? It's
RaeROQ
from RaeROQ Magazine, and we are here at Natural Vibes with Parkay.
Pleasure to meet
Nice
you.
to meet you. So today we are going to be starting our first episode of the Baji Chronicles. So we're going to get into it with Day a little bit about his story, and we'll be taking some shots and, getting healthy and, getting some information or whatever. I don't know. So how are you today?
I'm doing
How's it
good.
going?
I'm doing good. I can't complain. How you doing?
I'm good. So tell me a little bit about when you started rapping. What initially made you say, I think this is what I want to do?
Well, I started off playing basketball. Basketball was my first love. But even while I was playing basketball, I remember like 4th grade, I was at McKay Park watching the summer leagues. Then like during halftime, a group of kids was freestyling, like they had a cypher. And I was real young, so there was a large group around the people that was having a cypher. So I left, went over to that direction, and just the way they were putting words together, the rhythm, and the reaction of the crowd, it was so similar to basketball. And I seen that the people that were rapping, freestyling with each other, they got into a zone. They got into a different type of zone, the same type of zone you get into when you're on the court. So I think that moment, like in 4th grade, I started rapping. Like I started writing because I wanted to mimic what I saw at halftime during that game. So basketball and music was always hand in hand, but I gotta admit, I took basketball real serious. That was my first love. Music was something that I did on the side.
Mm-hmm. So at what point did music start to take over from the basketball? And how long were you into the basketball also?
I would say after my senior year of college, when I tried to go overseas, I had a couple of opportunities, but they didn't fall through. Mm-hmm. So once I knew basketball was like completely over, I actually fell into a depression. And I just started venting. I just started venting on the beat. Like, I just thought like, you know what? I'm going through so much pain. I'm depressed. Let me talk about it through the music though. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't planning on putting the music out. I was just literally making that music so I could help myself out of depression. So when my boys started coming through and listening to the tracks I was making, and they was hearing what I was talking about, the bars was real deep to them because they knew I wasn't lying. Like they was there every step of the way through my basketball career. And when they see my basketball career ain't pan out, and they heard what I was talking about in those songs, like it really touched them deep, and they convinced me to put it out. It was like, you need to put this music out. So I was like, you know what, all right. I just threw it out there. Next thing you know, everybody's saying I'm the best rapper in the county. So.
That's good. That's good. So initially, did you start with a single, or did you like put like a project together? How did you go about releasing your first piece of work?
Well, I put a project together. Like it was about 15 songs, and each song I was just talking about, how I got nice and ball. When I reached success in basketball, and I was also talking about the downfall of basketball. The title was Hoop Dreams Deflated. And on the cover, I had different articles, different newspaper articles, all in one. It was probably like 10 to 15 newspaper articles, and I just put it all together and made that the cover of it. And the title was Hoop Dreams Deflated, because I was basically talking about the depression I was going through. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was 15-track EP/mixtape.
Okay. And out of, I would say, so how many pieces of work have you had so far? And which one is your favorite?
So far, I got 4 projects out. I got Hoop Dreams Deflated, my first one. I got Ghost of Colin Hines, which was my second one. Achieving While Bleeding, which was my first official album. And Boss Pains, which I just dropped recently. That's my second official album. And out of all of them, personally, my favorite was Ghost of Colin Hines.
And why?
I would say the growth from Hoop Dreams Deflated to Ghost of Colin Hines was like, that was a lot of growth. I would say Achieving While Bleeding and Boss Pains. There was growth between those projects too, but they're the more identical two projects versus Who Dreams Deflated and Ghost of Khan Hans. Like, it was just a major leap, and I was able to emphasize more pain in Ghost of Khan Hans, and I was able to tell more of my story on Ghost of Khan Hans because I was a better rapper. And that project is the project that actually started. That project started gaining like big time attentions. I'm talking about blue check rappers reaching out to me saying they want to collab. Like, that's the one that really put me on the market.
Okay, so we're gonna have an immune booster shot right now, and the Natural Vibes crew will tell us a little bit about what that does. So with you saying that that was your favorite out of all of them because of, I guess, the way that your sound developed, how long do you feel it took for you to actually find your sound that you have now? And Taj, can you tell us about the immune booster a little bit?
Immune booster. So what you got right here is key lime and ginger. So that helps boost up your immune system. You know what I mean? Drink that every day, you won't get sick.
All right.
Shot like that a day gets you right. You know
That's
what I mean?
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the air tools.
Okay, one safe shot down. Oh shit, I'm dropping shit.
That one's strong right there.
Yeah.
I like that one.
So, how long did it take you to find your sound? And what was that process like for you?
Well, as far as beat selection, I always had my sound. You know, I grew up listening to Rockefeller, Nas, and even a little bit of Biggie before he passed away. And the one thing that stood out of all three of those artists was their beat selection. They targeted soulful beats, you know, beats that actually allow you to pour out your emotions. So
Those are the kind of beats that you use a lot.
yeah,
Yeah.
soulful, boom bap, real hip hop. So my beat selection was always good. It's just my confidence. Like Who Dreams Deflated was my first project. You know, I was kind of worried about how would people accept me as an artist, being that they know me for playing basketball. I was going through all those thoughts. So the confidence level on my first project was mediocre. I want to say Ghost of Khan Hans is when I just didn't give a F. Like, I went into that project with confidence, and I was like, nah, you know what? I'm gonna be who I am. I'm gonna talk my talk. I don't care what people think. I'm gonna pour even more pain. I'm even get more deep, and I'm gonna give more of my life to the public. And it came out.
And you said that project gained like a specific reaction from artists that maybe inspired you along the way, right?
Absolutely.
So what was that like for you finally getting the opportunity to like collaborate with them? Like I seen you did a collab with Corey Guns and like Jewels. What was it like working with those kinds of artists for you at first?
Priceless moment. You grow up trying to dress like these guys. You listening to these people for years, inspired by them, motivated by them, looking up to them, you know, because they're public figures. And to actually be in the studio with them, collabing with them, you know, it's just a priceless feeling. It's kind of like when a player make it to the NBA and they playing against Kobe for the first time. It's a similar feeling like when you in the studio and you rapping with Jewels for the first time, or you rapping with Vado, or you rapping with Corey Guns. It's kind of like a feeling like, damn, I'm here, I made it, you know? So it's definitely a priceless feeling, and it's a motivational feeling, because, you know, once you get in the studio with somebody you used to look up to, it's like, it gives you a motivation like no other, and it makes you go harder, because you want to continue to experience situations like that.
Do you have any new projects coming out right now? Or are you working on any new projects?
Yes, I'm working on a new project right now. It's called Heavy Crowns, Heavy Jewelry. I'm not gonna give out a release date yet, but it's set in stone. That's gonna be my next project. And with this project, I'm gonna try to come even more harder, more confident. And I'm gonna stick to the recipe. You know, I might spice it up a little bit, might throw a party bang on there. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do a drill song or not. You know, if the situation makes sense, I'll do that. But for the most part, I'm gonna give people what they're used to, which is the pain, which is the soul, you know, which is real rap.
What era are you from? What era hip hop?
It's funny because people say I got an old soul,
Yeah.
but I would have to say my favorite era of music was when Rockefeller had the game on lock.
So you're talking about like that '05 kind of era.
I want to say early 2000s.
Okay, yeah.
Early 2000s, like late 90s, more early 2000s.
And do you feel like you're kind of trying to like preserve that type of sound because, you know, you got so many different genres of hip hop that have evolved since then. Do you think that you're still trying to like preserve that type of vibe?
Absolutely, because to me that was the music was at its best at that time. Like,
Yeah, I agree with that.
like middle school, high school, like music was just in a different type of category. Like the way it made you felt, the way it brought people together, the way people used to walk 2 towns just to go to a party, just to listen to their favorite songs. You know, people used to hang up the Source magazine pictures. Like music was just different. It was more powerful, more love, more substance, you know, more energy. I feel like now, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, I feel like now music is more so, it went a different direction, that's what I'm gonna say, but around when we was in high school, middle school, like music was just so powerful, so that's the music that I try to make now. I try to, just like she said, I try to preserve that. And I try to give people that old music that they don't hear anymore.
All right, I think we'll take Around the World now.
Around the world. Yeah, that's what we're doing.
So,
Around the world.
just tell us about the Around the World, man.
Around the world. Yo, that's a natural Red Bull right there. The Red Bull without the caffeine and all that kind of stuff, man. You stamp your passport on that right there.
All right.
Couple pages. You know what I mean? Get you right.
This happens to be my favorite. All right. So that's good. So, what are some different things that you are hoping to do that could be maybe outside of music?
Oh yeah, so I definitely plan on acting. There's actually a couple of movies that I'm shooting right now with a couple of close friends of mine that are directors. So that's something I'm very passionate about, is acting.
Okay. And how long would you say you've been interested in that? Or how long have you been doing that? Is that recent for you?
Well, I made multiple attempts in the past to get into it, and I failed.
Okay.
You know, because I was trying to do too many things at one time.
Yeah.
But I would say now, I've really been focused with acting for the last 2 years.
And what are some things that inspire you other than, you know, other artists or other genres? What are some things that inspire the things that you write?
I would say I don't rap for myself. Like, I feel like there's a bigger purpose. There's a lot of young black males that went through trials and tribulations like myself, and I feel like my music can give them strength. That's one of the main things my fans say, my supporters say when they DM me, is like, your music give me strength. Like, if you check my stories, often you see a lot of people working out to my music. You see people taking long drives to my music. It helps them meditate. So I feel like my music is to give people strength, particularly young black males that are going through life struggles.
Yeah. So you would say it's like kind of like a motivational vibe, kind of like Jeezy or somebody like that, right?
Yeah, Jeezy made a lot of motivational music.
Yeah.
I take bits and pieces from everybody. Like, I tell a lot of stories. I get that from Nas and Jay-Z.
Yeah.
I like to make a lot of swaggy music. I get that a little bit from Biggie. You know, like the swaggy, we like to talk about designers, the finer
Yeah.
things in life. I get that from Biggie.
So you would say the New York style
Yes.
is really what inspires your sound the most?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
100%.
Okay. And is there anything else that you would like to mention about things you're doing, what you have coming up? I saw you dropped a new song.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, I dropped a new song called Oshun. I
And
don't
what
know.
inspired that?
The real story about Shango and Oshun. You know, Oshun was an African goddess. Shango was a king. He was a warrior. I believe thunder was his main power.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a story about how he fell in love with her. You know, Oshun had Shango had multiple wives, but Oshun was the one that he was deeply in love with. That was the one, she separated herself from the other wives. So, and Shango had this player energy. From what I read, he had this player energy. A lot of females wanted him, and a lot of females couldn't lock him down, but Oshun was the one female that made him hang his jersey up, you know, and actually, you know, it's a love story.
Yeah.
So I kind of compare myself to Oshun a lot. I mean, not Oshun, Shango. I kind of compare myself to Shango because I was told I got Shango energy, you know.
Okay.
And, yeah, I was told that.
Okay.
To be honest.
Yeah. So you were kind of inspired by that whole Yoruba vibe.
Yeah, and I'm Nigerian.
Yeah.
And it's a Nigerian story, so that's what made me, you know, more interested in it.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
And is there anything else that you want to mention?
I got a new clothing line that's about to come out. I'm not gonna say the title. I'm not gonna say nothing, but you know, check the Instagram. Once the clothing line drop, I feel that everybody's gonna love it. You know, put a lot of time and effort into it, and I got a whole team working on me when it comes to the clothes. You know, I got a whole team, and we're taking our time with the designs, the material, everything. So when that drops, I'm gonna be very excited. Yes, everybody check out the new single, Oshun. It's on all major platforms. And for those that wanna check me out, check out my EPs or get to know me more, you can follow me on my Instagram, Parkay, Day_Parkay, DAY_PARKAY. You know, and I hope to see you guys soon.